days.
Well, today is National Positive Day in my household, Oliver. You'll be glad to hear. The sun's out. Spring has sprung. I've just been to the training ground. Everyone seems like they're enjoying themselves. There's still a good vibe there, despite everything that everyone might be saying out and about. Is that the way you're finding it?
Oh yes, exactly. So good mood. Of course, the win against Wolverhampton helped, but it was always, players are always very positive. Staff is a great staff in there, and we spoke about it weeks ago that we tried to make us independent from all the noise, because at the end, and that's the reality, we play right now at this stage of the Premier League season is the second best ever. So we're just once better. This was last year with the same group of players. So I think that with everything that happened, players are doing such a great job. And now we are still playing European football tomorrow. And of course, we want to win at home at Selhurst and then go into the next round. But I have, and we all have big respect for Swinsky Mostar. So they showed it. That they are difficult to play, very well organized, very aggressive in their formation, and always ready to make good transitions. And so, will be a good challenge and test tomorrow.
Just also, we were lucky enough to see while we were in the training ground, while the guys are doing their warm-ups, JP coming out of the treatment room, holding a cup of coffee, interacting as well with the players. So a lot's been made about him rebuilding his relationship, but that seems to be going well too.
I think it's the best when you ask Dean about the relationship with JP, but I mention it often. JP is such a lovely guy, one of the most funniest guy I have ever met, and such a positive character. And it's also for him a tough time now. He's out for, I think, 4 weeks now. Was doing the rehab that we can control his knee, and that he's getting stability back when he will return to help us winning games. And that's just JP's nature.
He's definitely going to play for you again before the end of the season.
I hope so. I hope so. Of course, that's the plan. He's working hard now in the rehab. So yes, I hope so.
Well, I'll ask you both those things. We've seen, we're not going to talk about it, some fans showing dissatisfaction towards the manager, but the players still have full faith in him and that relationship with JP.
Of course, yeah, 100%. Both things. We have full faith, and with everything we've been through together, we want the journey to continue, and we're in a great position, I believe, in the season with everything that's gone on, and with extra games in Europe, and still being in the competition, and obviously that big win at the weekend's helped us a lot, and we're looking forward to tomorrow night, and looking forward to having another journey together.
In the Premier League, obviously a win last time out. You're as close points-wise to the top 6, Chelsea and Liverpool, as you are to West Ham in the bottom 3. 1 point worse off, 1 place worse off than exactly this time last season, which was a record season. So actually things aren't as bad in the Premier League as people make out. But now you have got that 10-point gap. It does seem like, that's around about where you're going to finish. Can you concentrate more than you have been perhaps on winning the European trophy?
I think the right mindset is to win the next game and not think about end of May. And I think I told you the same last year when we started our FA Cup journey, when we played in the Premier League. That makes no sense talking about the end of the season when you're in the middle of it. I think it's the same in the league. It's now important to play consistently better than we did in a few games. What helps us, and again, this is huge credit to the players. Now 2 clean sheets in the last 4 Premier League games after Mark leaving, and always I think we never played the same back 3 because Jeff played and he was injured. Maxence missed the last game, this is what we are working on, getting stability back into the team. And with this stability, I think we will increase our confidence, and then things will look a little bit easier than it sometimes looks right now. And we are on track. But for us, it's not to talk about the end of May where we want to be. I think for us it's important to think about how we want to play, what we want to do on the pitch, what we have to do on the pitch, and this gives us the best chance to get good results.
So you wouldn't go as far, say, as Ange at Spurs last season, where since certainly the event he's made it clear that they just totally concentrated on Europe in the last third of the season.
No, I think we haven't done this last year with the FA Cup. Everybody of you was surprised when we played our best team 3 days before the semi-final. We played at the Emirates and we played the best team, because for me the best preparation is confidence, is a good performance. Right now it's always here. We have a tight period, but then we have a lot of time to rest. For example, right now it's that we have at least 3 weeks no game in March, because the City game is moved before the international break, then it's international break, and straight after international break is an FA Cup round. So that means if we are still in Europe, we have 3 weeks, and everything between 3 and 4 weeks can happen, that we don't have a competitive game here. So it's always a tight period, and then we have time and periods to rest, and then I don't see any problem. It was more in autumn when we played really consistently, I think for 10 or 12 weeks every third day. Then yes, we have to rotate a little bit more, but now players are fit, and that's why we will play always the best team in both competitions.
With everything that's happened and your future now clear, would it mean as much to you in your head and in your heart to win the Europa Conference League this season as it meant to you to win the FA Cup last season?
I think I said it often. It's not. I don't feel really important for this. So I think it would be an incredible achievement if we could win a third title within 2 years. And let's say for me, it would be in my last 3 full seasons. I always played a final, the Europa League final, the German Cup final, the English Cup final, and maybe it's another European final, but it's far away right now. So the next game is Mostar, and we have to take this hurdle. That's more important.
And for you, where would it stand for you in comparison to last season to get to a final and win a European trophy?
Yeah, it'd be incredible. I think it'd be incredible for everyone involved with the football club. But ultimately, as the manager said, what he's been hitting home to us is we can't focus about winning. At the end of the day, we've got to take each day as it comes and each game as it comes, because nothing's given to you in football, so you've got to earn it.
Thank you. Thanks, Gary. Okay, Ian.
Oliver, you've won a European trophy before with Eintracht Frankfurt, and in a sense, they were already well known outside of Germany. People knew who they were. Crystal Palace, with respect, probably aren't known worldwide or massively worldwide. Premier League is known worldwide. What would winning a European trophy do for this club in terms of worldwide eyes on the club?
I don't want to talk about winning. You know, we can please ask me this when we play the final and we have a press conference. You can ask me this, but now it's Mostar. Let's talk about Mostar, because I think they deserve the respect because they did really well against us. Yes, the 3 away games in the Conference League they lost, but twice very tight games. 1-0 at Mainz, 1-0 at Rakov. Rakov ended second in the Conference League table, and 2 years ago they lost 1-0 at Villa Park. I think DRB scored in the 93rd minute. So this is where we have to focus, and I don't want to talk now about winning a trophy, because we are round of last 32, so far away, and
you've got to back yourself. I mean, you know, you've got to back yourself and your team to go and win it. Because otherwise there'd be no point in entering. You've got to say, yeah, my team is good enough to win it.
Yes, but I said we always enter every single competition to win it. Yeah? But that doesn't mean, I think, for 120 years, Crystal Palace entered every cup competition to win it. Yeah? This group of players has done it once last year. So every team will enter the competition, but just one can lift the trophy at the end. And it just makes no sense to talk now about it. And again, it's not I don't talk about this. I spoke the same last year when we played Doncaster in the FA Cup. I didn't talk about the final at Wembley. Yeah? We talked about Monday night football at Doncaster with all the respect. And yeah, it was a tough win there with a 2-0. Yeah? And then we took it game by game. And this is the same. I think that's the best thing and to do. And I watched yesterday Inter Milano against Bodo Glimt. Yeah? So Inter Milano, I think they lead the Serie A by 8 or 9 points. They played 2 years ago the Champions League final, but they lost. So it just makes no sense talking about the final. So talk about the next game, because that's what you can influence right now and nothing else.
Dean, the manager makes a good point actually, but at what point do the players start to get really excited about being in a competition? And don't just let every game as it comes.
No, of course, we've got to focus on tomorrow. Ultimately, last week probably wasn't good enough, and we've got to take that responsibility. And they made it hard for us. They got good transitions on the break, and that's our main focus, is stopping them tomorrow night and being able to impose our strengths on them as well. And yeah, it's going to be a difficult game, so that's all we're fully focused on.
How important is it to use Selhurst Park as a fortress?
Yeah, of course, it's going to be big for us tomorrow night. Obviously, the fans can help us with the atmosphere, the positivity. I think that'll be really good. And yeah, it's European nights at Selhurst Park, which has never been before. So hopefully they can keep supporting us.
The manager's already said that he won't let you just concentrate on winning the Europa Conference League. You're safe in the Premier League. Subconsciously, do the players think that though? Do they think, right, okay, we've got a chance to get to the last 16?
Yeah, of course, we've got a chance to get to the last 16 because we play tomorrow, and ultimately, if we win that game, we go to the last 16. But that's all our focus. Each game as it comes, and we want to win every game we can. So we just got to take the confidence from the weekend into this game and the next after that.
And last one to you, Oliver. Similar thing in terms of Selhurst Park being a fortress tomorrow night. It's your home stadium. Everyone backs everybody else. Be a united team.
Well, yes, I think that's what we need. Yeah, getting having this spirit of togetherness and supporting. Everybody supports everyone, each other, on the pitch, off the pitch, and this is what we need. Yeah. I think this is the foundation of every big success in any football club, in any company, and in anything. At the end, what we are doing. Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who'd like to start? Ed, would you mind using the mic? Thank you.
Hi. Just following on from that, Dean, if you don't mind. You've got a very close relationship with the fans at Palace, and I just wondered if you've been surprised by the way that things have sort of turned a bit sour in the last few weeks. You know, with the banner the other night and everything, and how important it is that everybody does sort of get behind the team.
Yeah, I think it's so important that obviously we've got to ultimately give something back as well, and it's been a difficult period, and I think the players have to take a lot of responsibility because we've got to do better first and foremost. For whatever reason it was, whether we had too many injuries and we just couldn't cope with the amount of games and the quality we were up against in the Premier League over the last couple of months. Now we've got everyone back and we've got a squad. We've been picking up some good results, so hopefully that can give the club a boost and get the support from the stands, because I think it's so important, and we should enjoy these experiences because we've worked so hard to put ourselves in this situation.
And Oliver, for you, after a tricky couple of weeks, are you hoping that now that perhaps if you can get through this game and build up a bit of momentum, you can really put behind you what's happened over the last few weeks and have a really positive end to the season?
Yes, absolutely. That's what we all want, what we all, as Dean mentioned, working hard for. To get a great end into a season, and then let's say it's a season. It would be a season I experienced maybe 40 in my life, yeah, because I never played a season where everything was top from match day number 1 until match day number 38 here in the Premier League. So we just played 36 in Austria when I was a player, and the same in Germany when I managed them. You always have periods where you're doing really well, and then a few moments where you're struggling. And as Dean mentioned, we think we have our explanations for this, but I don't want to talk about it publicly, because then it always feels like excuses. Yeah, but yes, we know it. Can just say Adam Wharton has already played 1,000 minutes more than the whole last year, so that means 11 games more by this stage. Chris Richards the same. So it's just players have to cope with a completely new situation in their career, and then it's and I remember when I arrived, we played West Ham at Selhurst. I think they just
Just played in Europe.
Just played in Europe. I think, I don't know, was it Conference League or or Europa League? I don't know
Europa
exactly.
League,
Yeah, Europa League. They were massively struggling in the Premier League. I remember I spoke to Eddie Howe at Newcastle, because I remember when they played the first time Champions League, they were massively struggling. I think they ended 13th in the Premier League, and I spoke about his experience. But we are still, as said before, it's the second best amount of points ever. So it looks like we're playing an incredible well Premier League season regarding the points. We have the European competitions, and we have had some big injury problems at the end of last year. Yeah, we had the AFCON, we had some big noise in any single transfer window. When I see the big picture, everything that happened, for me, it's just incredible where we are right now.
Joshua? Yeah. Can you use the mic, please? Oh, you got one.
Dean, you'll have no doubt heard and seen some of the fan reaction both last week and on Sunday. Have you, as a group of players, talked about that, discussed that? What would be your message back to the fans as a response to some of the fans' behaviour and chanting last week?
I think obviously they're frustrated with the performance, of course. We understand that, and we need to put that right. But unity, I think it's important that we have that. As I say, we're playing European football for the first time, and it should be a time for everyone to come together and enjoy that. So calling for Sellers to be rocking tomorrow, get behind the lads. Let's try and get into the last 16, and then really try and build some momentum into the season, as it's a journey we should all be cherishing to go on together.
And Oliver, for you, many will argue that the Conference League is the priority. I know you've said it might not be, but a lot of the season revolves around a good Conference League run. And if you were to go out tomorrow, do you still want and expect to see out the rest of the year? We know about the contract situation, or are there fears that potentially, if you did go out tomorrow, that it could be your last match as the Crystal Palace manager?
Again, I don't know what happens. I never know. But I know that we all give our best to win the game tomorrow, every single one. Who is involved, and that's what we can do. But on the other side, and again, I think it's just think about the Premier League, 3 points behind the 8th place. 8th place qualifies for Europe, how it looks like. So England will have 5 Champions League places again, looks like, next year. So why throw the Premier League away? And when we see every single round, everything is possible, regardless where you're playing, all the tight results. And so I just think it makes no sense, how you say, putting all your money on one competition.
Thank you. Bobby?
Hi Dean, can I just ask you about the dynamic of captaining the team in goal and how you found almost learning that role? Because I imagine spending parts of the training session separately from the group and often being the furthest player from the referee can be quite difficult.
No, we always nominate someone to speak to the referee on the pitch, so that's no issue. No, really enjoying it. Really delighted, obviously, for the manager to give me the opportunity. Yeah, no more to say on it.
And the manager made an observation last week that some players in the group are looking at their next club rather than Palace, which has been disruptive for the group. As captain, when you're given a team talk or trying to find that extra bit, what do you look at to give some fresh motivation to the group?
It's always difficult. I think you've always got to earn, when it comes to the Premier League, you've always got to earn the right to win games of football. It's as simple as that, and you can't take anything for granted. And that's what we've been working on. We thought we got the turnaround at Brighton. Ultimately, we got a setback at Burnley. And then, obviously, Wolverhampton. So it is what it is. We've just got to keep doing well, keep trying to build that momentum. And once the momentum comes, the games become actually easier. So once you get in the rhythm of winning games of football. So that's what we've been working towards, and we'll keep working towards. And that's the message I just keep giving them to get their confidence back.
And there has been a lot of noise, whether that's fan reaction, notable press conferences, the transfer market, the manager's future. What have you channeled to kind of block that out as an individual and as a group?
ultimately the only thing that matters is winning games of football for the football club. So you've just got to do your job the best you can, and not try and take on too much responsibility. You've got to sort of focus on your own jobs at times as well, and not worry about all the noise. It's irrelevant because it doesn't help you win games. So just crack on.
And can I just check, Maxence was in the first part of training today. Is he fit to start tomorrow, and is there any other team news?
Yeah, it's still a small question mark with Maxence, but he trained the session. In a few situations he could feel a little bit of awareness, but it looks okay. So we have now about 30 hours, or a little bit more than 30 hours with treatment and everything. All others are fine, so nobody returns, but also nobody is injured.
Can I just check where Eddie Nketiah's at the moment?
Yes, I think I mentioned it. Eddie had a setback, and it will take him now a few more weeks. We're now end of February. We expect him back in training. I think it will. I think it will, because in March, end of March, we don't have games, so it looks like that it will be April.
Okay. Oh, sorry, Matt.
Dean, you've had Chadi Riyad and JD Convo in front of you, two young centre-backs. What's that like, having those guys in front of you? Does it mean that you have more responsibility on you, and how have you found having those guys in front of you?
Ultimately, good football players. They've got big futures ahead of them, in my opinion. They've got some really good qualities. It's just about building consistency at that age, and obviously Chadi's done excellently, I think, to obviously come back from a big injury and a long time out, to put in the performances he's done as well. He's been fantastic, great lad, great attitude, and JD's obviously, I believe he'll be a special footballer in a few years, and it's just about taking that time to let him develop, and yeah, he's going to be top.
Has anything changed for you since you became captain? Like, is there any real more responsibility on actually being named captain?
Not massively. I think obviously you get given it by the way you are and the way you act, and I think it's important not to try and do too much and try and do things you don't need to get involved in, and ultimately just focus on your job and help people out when you can.
What do you think you sort of bring as a captain and as a senior player in the squad? What is it you're looking to do, and how to help the team?
Yeah, of course, just bring my experience, bring my confidence, and hopefully that rubs off on people, and yeah, it helps.
Performances have been disappointing, but actually results have picked up. 1 defeat in 5. How much can you look at it like that rather than 2 wins in 16?
That's the only way I'm looking at it, mate. I'll be honest. I'll be truthful. Obviously, since we've had our squad together since the end of January, they're the stats. So that's all I'm looking at, and I'm not sure we could have done any better in the period of time building up to that. So yeah, we just take the confidence from that and keep trying to build.
Okay. Thank you, Andy. Oh, sorry, Kate, you next. Sorry.
Hi, Dean. Just going back to this idea that there's possibly players maybe have one eye on their next move at Crystal Palace. Do you see any evidence of that within the camp?
I don't know. They certainly shouldn't. They shouldn't. And if they have, they've got to be very careful, because if you don't put the performances in, ultimately you don't get the move you want. So they need to be very careful. So I'm not aware of any of that, but I would suggest they'd have to be careful if they were thinking like that.
How have you been managing this whole situation emotionally as a group, when it almost feels like every game, every performance, every result is almost a referendum on the state of the club and the state of the manager?
We've got a great manager, and we're a good football club, and as we spoke about, this is the best season a Crystal Palace club or team has carried out over the history of the club. So I think it's time to shift the narrative and really smile, enjoy these moments, because as you can see, they don't come round often. Instead of putting it all negative spin on everything.
Oliver, what needs to change from last Thursday to ensure you get through tomorrow?
We need a better balance in the game, allowing them so many transitions, and we need more runs in behind to threaten them. Even it looks like sometimes not a lot of space, but even 10-15 yards are enough to ask the ball in behind, and then we get the game around their box, and then we could see that we can score goals, that we can create chances, we get set plays, and of course, but we watched some games, and that it just shows that. And I want to take away the pressure from the players, because it looks like they want sometimes too much. And we showed the players a clip where we have 7 players in the attacking box, and the 3 centre backs outside the box, with 2 on the edge, at the edge of the box, and I think Maxence was 25 yards away in front of the opposite goal, 1v1 with their striker. It was just taking too much risk, but it is because the players want to score, they want to break this deep block, and they want to take responsibility, and this is what we showed them, and this allowed them a few transitions, and when you give the opposition a transition, you always get belief back. You think, yes, we're able to score. They give us space. This is one of our strengths. This brought, and also the goal in the second half was around minute 60. I think before they haven't even been in our half, but with this equalizer, the team got the belief back. The crowd was here, yeah, and this is what we want to avoid with a better structure behind the ball, especially.
And just finally, I appreciate you and Dean have said that it's just the next game that matters. It doesn't matter about the competition. But from the mind of the supporters, if the result doesn't go your way tomorrow, there's likely to be quite a strong reaction. Just how much is that at the forefront of your mind at this stage?
What do you explain it to me?
In terms of if you went out of the Conference League tomorrow, there's likely to be a strong and negative reaction from supporters. Just how much is that in your mind at this stage?
Not at all. It's the first time. You are involved in the fans because you know it's so detailed.
Not my first.
Because I don't know it, so you're telling me, so that's why I didn't know it, so that's why I don't have it in my mind.
Yeah.
Andy, do you want to go?
Thanks, Joe. Oliver, tomorrow's a real knockout game. Could be extra time, could be penalties. You've obviously had 2 penalty shootouts this season already in 2 different competitions, with the Community Shield and League Cup. Sorry. Any extra training, or what your thoughts about that? Is that you're trying to avoid it, I guess?
Yes, that's goal number 1. Avoid it. Make it clear in 90 minutes. But we never trained it specifically, not before the Community Shield. So we always, when we have during the year, when the game is tied at the end, we do some penalty shootouts, and it's the same. I think then we could have 6 substitutions. To be honest, I have to ask if we get another substitution in extra time, but at least 5. That could mean that 60% of the on-field players are differently than the starting 11, and then it's like always who feels good, who had a good game and has confidence, and then we pick the team. And you mentioned the Community Shield, we picked 5, and then we needed 8, so you can never plan it.
So as a coach, you haven't done anything special in training, or the squad players obviously, like you said, are going to be important if it goes to extra time. Is that just going to be in your head when it's getting close to that, or is that something you can and your coaching team can look at beforehand and plan for those eventualities?
I just know one thing definitely: if Justin Devaney is on the pitch and we need it, he will take one, because he scored such amazing penalties, and also in the league game at Leeds. So if he's on the pitch and we need, he will take one.
And I know you've mentioned about the fixture congestion before, especially at Christmas, and now you've mentioned about 3 to 4 weeks off. Is there? I know you've talked about it before, but is there any idea about how that could be better for you as a manager in terms of the authorities managing that, or is that just, like you've said in the past, like that's just the way the football is, and when you're in competitions and you're out of competitions, that's what happens?
Yes, and we still don't know exactly how this period will look like, because there's 10 days of international break. We don't know who will be called up. It's the final or before the World Cup in summer. I don't know how the national team coaches are reacting. Do they want to see new players? So it can be, I think we had it once that we were just 4 or 5 players here during an international break, and we had the situation, especially last year, when we had 12 or 13 players here. So that's why it's really, we can't plan it. There are so many different scenarios. With the games coming up, with who will be called up for his country, that's why we just know that there will be at least 3 weeks and longest 4 weeks, and then we will plan it shortly.
Thanks, Oliver. And Dean, ready for a shootout if it gets to that? I guess you in the goalkeeping team, any water bottles, got any writing on or anything like that?
Always ready. Always ready.
Have you done something special in training, or is that just part of the normal?
No, we'll do our normal routines, and yeah, that's fine. Okay,
and just going back to the captain role, is there any particular captains or leaders that you've sort of taken inspiration from, who you've worked with, or is it, obviously you want to make it your own position, or is it just seeing how it goes and taking each day as it comes?
Not really. You sort of just learn on the job, and obviously if people come and speak to you, you try and give them good advice and help them out. But yeah, ultimately I'm not looking for things to do. Certainly not looking for things to do. But anything that comes my way, I'm always willing to help.
So the away trips, the European trips, you don't need to sort of create, like something as a captain, like socially away from the group. That's just natural as part of the squad.
No. End of season do maybe.
Thanks a lot, Dean.
Okay. I think that's everyone. Thanks very much.